Fletcher. Now sit back and prepare to be entertained.
Greetings and welcome back to the Dripping Bucket podcast with your host Krystle Matar and myself, apparently crash and burn today. We are joined by the amazing Gareth Hanrahan, game designer, fantasy author. For me,
Defiant, Gutter Prayer. The pop quiz, you failed.
And so I first noticed or was aware of Gareth with the Gutter Prayer, and that was one of those books that gave me author jealousy because it was like, fuck, I wanted to write that one, and it kind of screamed.
Even with comparisons between that and Manifest Delusions.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Worried me when I read Manifest Delusions because it was like, Jesus Christ, this is what people think of me.
I find that the comps that we get as writers that take us by surprise are always really telling and really interesting, because I think Brightwash was comped to Gutter Prayer early on in my career, so I didn't know anybody yet. I was like, oh, what's that? I was like, oh, that person's successful. That must be good news for me. So, and then now here we are. So It all comes around.
So, hello, Gareth. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always nice to pop on. Say hello.
All right, we got that out of the way. So, you sort of to me, in our little sort of group, exploded onto the scene with Gutter Prayer, but I'm guessing you'd been around and writing for a little bit before that.
Yeah, well, a long time before that. The quick backstory is, back in my college days, 20 plus years ago, I thought I'd be sensible and get a real job doing computers and try to do a bit of writing on the side. And I did a bit of freelance writing. And then, for about 2 years, the computer job went away. And I went, oh, I think another one of those. But they're really boring and I'm really bad at them. So I'll try freelance writing, mainly for, actually, at that point, entirely for role-playing games. And due to a combination of hard work and talent, but mainly willingness to, work for very little money and not drink until well into my late 30s. I actually managed to keep a career going as a full-time role-playing writer, which was
wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful, unwise.
Do I remember that you worked on the early Traveller stuff way back?
I wrote the first edition of Mongoose Traveller, which is the current sort of main version of Traveller.
Right.
Although by saying that, I have incurred the wrath of a whole section of the Traveller community.
You're not allowed to pick a main one.
Well, no, there's Traveller, and we've now gone down a anyway so nerdy that you're even in your audience. There are two, I think, currently entered versions of Traveller. There's Traveller 5, which is by Miller, who wrote Traveller back in the 70s. And that is a mighty, weighty, 700-page megatome with rules for absolutely everything. And there is Mongoose Traveller, which I wrote, which is a very, very stripped down, back to basics, accessible, mass marketing one.
Right.
That one would be the one that most beginners would go for at this point, because Traveller 5 is a experience. Anyway, yes, I wrote that, and I did the Pirates of Drinax, which was a big campaign for that, which was ridiculously long legs in terms of, I wrote it back in 2012 or something, and it's still getting lots of play and getting reprints and so forth. So it's been lovely.
That's really cool.
Yes. So worked in role playing many years.
around 2014, went, I should write a novel. Well, actually, I wrote a licensed novel, which was an ordeal, but was very, very good. It's very hard, but if you know, it's stupidly hard.
Writing it is so much easier. So wrote licensed novel. Decided to try to do the original. Wrote lots of very original first chapters. Abandoned lots of them. Finally, my wife said, "Would you ever finish one of those?" She was very, very correct. I finished one, and then fell into getting it by mistake, and then sold the paper. It was A, a long way there, and B, horribly painless. In that, like, I got an agent on my first try. He then went off and sold it. So if I say that, people want to kill me. So I have to be careful, pretending like, well, I freelanced for 15 years, and then having some level of karma, things went smoothly in the first book. A question.
The overnight 15-year success.
Yeah, exactly. That's what success always looks like. It's like all of a sudden you're everywhere, but no, that represents an incredible amount of suffering that nobody got to see. Yeah.
So your current trilogy, if I remember correctly, the one you're working on now is the Firstborn trilogy, right? And is book 3 out yet, or is it due out soon?
Well, it's due out in May of next year. I'm currently waiting on edits for 3. It's all written and finished and done, other than undergoing change those bits. Apparently, I'm going to. So it's all fine so far. Basically, Land of the Firstborn is. One of the things I do a lot of in role-playing is Tolkien-based stuff. I'm one of the main writers for the One Ring role-playing game. And there's, also Tolkien stuff. There's a line in the introduction to Lord of the Rings where Tolkien goes, it was based on the course of the actual war. And voice would even try. So actually, I'm doing my John Jarrold, my agent voice, because he's very English. The book had been based on the course of the actual war, then the ring would not have been destroyed, but used against Sauron. And they would not have been cast down but occupied. It would have been Berlin. So I thought that's a really good premise for a fantasy game and novel. So Land of the Firstborn's concept is heroes kill Dark Lord, save the universe, or save world, and then occupy a city of evil and take his evil stuff and basically set up this occupied city where they're trying to make,
That's really cool.
cleanse it of evil and nation build in the middle of Mordor, and it works out about as well as other types of nation building go.
Changing hearts and minds and all that. That's historically so easy.
Works perfectly. Everyone's fine with it.
Yeah.
Being part of an alliance of good guys who are all in it for common purpose. Once that common purpose goes away, they all continue to work together perfectly well. There are no internal divisions.
Yeah, it's a typical fantasy novel then.
The fantasy would be the operative word. Books 1 and 2 of that out.
Yeah.
1 Sword and Bound, and book 2, The Sword and Bound, came out about a bit over a month ago. And book 3 will be out next year.
That's really good. That's, did you have quite a bit prepared ahead of time that you're able to do them successfully or sequentially like that? Or are you one of those jerks who can, write books quickly?
They're trying to start. What happened was I'd written about 60,000 words in Sword Defiant before the Gutter Prayer.
Yeah. Okay.
I sent to Orbit going, here I have this idea for a short standalone, 100,000 word standalone. And they went, do we like it? But what if it were twice that long?
I were going to say you made it too long, but...
They said, can you add
Yeah.
another viewpoint character entirely and make it a trilogy? So, are you paying me? And I went, yes, they would. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But the other thing is, going back to the 15 years of freelancing.
Mhm.
One when one is easy writing to eat,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you learn to sit down and churn the words out.
Yeah. S and chair. Yeah.
How much of your game design background sort of influences your writing? Are you like one of those, you do a ton of world building, work out all your magic system stuff before you start, or is it very much like on the fly kind of?
It's absolutely on the fly. I mean, one thing that gaming has taught me is basically if a player suggests, "Oh, my character is from the land of the crocodile people," I go, "Awesome," and work that in, and this is it was going to be a dungeon full of insects, but now we'll make it full of crocodiles and huge that, and riff off what the players give me. So I do very, very little stuff in advance. But I'm good at. I'm sure there's a better technical term than bullshitting, but that is basically what it.
And world building.
Yeah, I guess it's bullshit, but building on it. So very solid bullshit. I don't know.
It's strategic bullshit. It's structurally sound bullshit.
There's a lot of historical fire there for structural integrity, and this metaphor has gotten very strange.
As it does on the dripping bucket.
Exactly. But as I'm saying, the thing I had to unlearn from gaming was, with gaming, the writing has a purpose. It's to here's a framework for people to entertain people. The players will then plug in their characters, and you will basically make them the stars of the show. Whereas with novels, you have to provide the stars yourself, and that's why it's really hard.
You have to be the player.
You have to be the player. You have to decide on the plot. You can't just give them lots of options and say, "Here are many things you could do. Pick one." You've got to go, "Oh, they have to pick one," and work out their implications of that.
Yeah.
So it helps more than it hinders, but it's not it's not a thing where you can sort of go, "Aha! Because I've done all this, I can easily do all this."
Yeah.
I remember, making the transition from gaming to writing. I really thought finally the characters will do what I want them to.
Yeah, right.
Holy shit, did that not work?
I guess I have the advantage since I started in writing first, and so I knew how helpless the whole situation is. So now I just this is my life now, obeying the whims of these people I hear in my head.
Well, see, the other thing, at a gaming table, there is social pressure to follow the plot. Yes, the characters will go off and do wacky things, but you have to finish up by 11 o'clock. You want to get to the end of the game. Okay, my crocodile guy really wants to go off into the river, but I will stick on dry land to go with the rest of the party. Fine, grumble. I will role play my slightly angry crocodile person safely at the back of the party, but I'll go with the rest of them. Whereas in a novel, the crocodile guy is off on his own point of view thing.
You have to figure out the motivations on why he would even be on land in the first place, and if there's nothing there to support that, then you've got a whole new storyline you didn't plan for. Do you find that the feedback that you get from gamers helps you kind of zero in pretty quickly on really good ideas of people will enjoy this angle if I pursue it, because you've had the history in gaming, watching people
table or
when you transfer that over to writing.
I keep complaining about, and it's there's such a different culture when it comes to reviews and feedback and so forth.
Okay.
If someone buys one of my gaming books and says, "Oh, I didn't like this bit," I can go, "Aha! Here are 10 ways to fix that." Your characters didn't find that plot hook. Here are ways to amplify that. If someone gives me a bad review of my novel, I have to slow my hand so I don't respond going, "No, it's fine. I can fix it for you."
No, we're not
Here.
supposed to do that.
Yeah, here, skip those chapters. We'll quickly write an alternate like take on that character. You read that one instead.
So it's like the opposite. You find the feedback kind of hinders.
Well, I can't
you-
I can't respond to it
Yeah.
directly. I can read
Yeah,
it.
the
I can
same
feed it the next novels. But that's like going at a game like your player going,
Yeah.
oh, I want to be a crocodile guy, and you going, okay, I will now go off and write a crocodile guy source book to be printed 3 years from now.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, okay. I can see how that would be quite almost like culture shock
It
switching
is.
from one to the other.
Everything's so slow and like.
I think speaking of slow, I mean what's the timeline like for gaming publishing? Is it as glacial as
Mm,
fiction? Because it
it's-
seems like it should be kind of faster
It
once you've got it.
depends. It depends. Usually, it depends on the company. Usually, it's quite a lot faster. Like I mean, with most companies, it'd be like you write the stuff and like 9 months later, it's out on print. It's out. There
Oh.
isn't this. I mean, A, the print ones are much smaller. B, there's the promo like the promo is smaller. There's generally not less editing, but it's less of a sort of ritual. I mean, with anything, stuff gets stuck. Like there's a book I wrote called The Burlesque Connection, which after it came out, I was doing all the interviews saying, "Oh, this is out next year." It's this 400-page campaign where it's basically this connection meets Cthulhu mythos. You're basically fighting heroin smugglers across who are also Cthulhu worshippers. It's fantastic.
As you
But that was,
do.
that was supposed to be out in 2020, and then pandemic
Oops.
and layout
Yeah.
issues and blah, blah, blah. I think the PDF will be out in September now, is the current plan.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, in fairness, 2020 kicked a lot of people in the ass for what
No, it was.
their next couple of years would look like.
Yeah, generally faster pandemics and weirdness
Yeah.
aside.
Yeah, I
So
still
then that also must be culture shock too, just like the long periods of waiting when your novel's in development.
Yeah. Well, the other like big culture shock is just like most role playing stuff is freelance based. So basically, someone will go, "Here, write this." And I really wish that I'd love novels that as well. Like you're here, write like 150,000 words on dragons. Like, okay, off I go.
Yeah, well, we do that in self-publishing, but the downside of that is capitalism holding us accountable for actually getting these projects done. So
That's different. Like there's,
yeah,
if someone said like self-publish a book on this, it'd be so much easier because like
yeah.
maybe the level of choice would be
At least
taken
you
away.
know there's gonna be a market for it too. It's like
Mm.
somebody wants this, so I can finish it. Whereas with us, it's like this is either the stupidest thing I've ever published, or I'm going to be famous. There's no middle ground.
most of them on the
Yeah.
the first side, unfortunately. Like, cool, I just
We
wrote
don't know
another
that yet.
really
You might be
stupid
famous in a
novel.
couple of years. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Yeah, the other thing, just keep going with differences between like role playing and publishing, like real publishing, whatever, is
Well, yeah, novels.
yeah.
Novel writing.
With role playing, you kind of know what people want to a degree because A, it has to be it tends to be like again more functional, and B, there's less wild swings in the market to a degree, or like the big trends are I think easier to see because people are like they're playing it and talking about it online as opposed to having to discern them from sales figures and
Yeah.
people chatting on Discord. And plus, you know that you're never going to be bigger than D&D era, no matter what you do. So
I have a feeling moves. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm.
A little bit less scrying and reading the reading tea leaves.
dude,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must be frustrating. Like having that background in something a lot more predictable, and then jumping over to novel writing in science fiction and fantasy.
Well, I mean, there are. It's a much bigger community on the novel side, and
Well, yes, that's
and there is theoretically more money, and also the ceiling for success is higher. The possibility of successes are higher. Like,
that's
yeah,
interesting.
should success happen, if it does, I'll let you know. Someone can dream. Someone for a lottery ticket.
It's just such a strange concept because I mean, we set the bar so obnoxiously high in ways that I don't think other industries do. You know, like if you're opening, I don't know, a coffee shop, your success is like, yes, I get to stay open and make a bit of a profit at the end
Yeah,
of the day. We don't all dream of being the next Starbucks, you know, in other industries. Whereas with publishing, we all convince ourselves we're going to be the next George R. R. Martin, and then are horrifically disappointed when we only have six books on contract. Like that's really good. That is successful. You're doing really well.
but it's also very hard to tell, like, what
I
makes
guess.
George R. R. Martin. Like, you sort of like, obsessive, like, what's the, like, the magic thing that, or the like, the like formula, the spark that gets it there.
Yeah.
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 And you're kind of
Unfortunately, yeah.
you
Mysterious,
either
but
keep cranking out the same thing over and over again, which case you're getting bored.
Mhm.
Or I mean, you came from a gaming background, you're like, oh, what? I want to do something new, and so it's just each one is like that little bit riskier, trying
Yeah.
to push an envelope somewhere, trying to do something that the people haven't seen, a billion times. And that's what I loved about Gutter Prayer. It was just unlike the other fantasy I'd read.
Gutter Prayer was very much like, here is all the stuff I'm sort of vaguely interested in thrown into one novel.
Yeah, just like a diagram of this is Gareth in a book.
Yeah, I do that. Like I didn't intend to write any sequels to it. I never thought it would get published, so I just put everything in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing with first novels. Like same with
Yeah.
Beyond Redemption.
Yeah.
I wrote it thinking, 6 people will read it. Like 6 friends that they're going to read it. Nobody else will. There'll be no book 2, and I can go on and do something else with my life.
Yeah.
And then people bitch about it 10 years later. Why did you use German? What the fuck were you thinking? And it's like, I wrote it. Rich doesn't speak German. I wrote it for him. Like, the fuck?
Yeah,
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was very much the same experience for me with Whitewash, where it's just like I'm gonna take my shot at this. 10 people are gonna buy it. 2 of them are gonna read it, but at least I finally published like I've wanted to all of these years. And then now it's like, okay, and now more, and I'm like, oh shit. I was not expecting that to go well. Okay, sure, let's pretend I knew what I was doing.
Yeah,
So,
it's not even use all your ideas in that one book, but like that one book was like,
yeah.
the sort of the one that was like in your head for many years before that.
Oh
And
yeah, absolutely.
when you come back to the next ones, you're much better at structure. You're much better at like understanding what goes into a novel.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the same sort of like, I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been writing that main character for, oh shit, I have to do math. 21 years. So, and sometimes it's weird. Like it's almost like a grieving process lately, where it's like for 20 some odd years, I've been able to change the story and update it to my newest interests. And then, but now, no, that's set in stone. That's his story now, and I have to, if I want to go back, I have to play in that sandbox, and it's a really weird feeling. But I'm still happy with it. Hopefully, I continue to be happy with it for the next 5 years or so.
Yeah.
But
Wait till book 3 when you're just angry with everyone and you're just like,
that's the one I'm
kill them all off. Like, you're dying, you're dying, you're dying. fucking done with you people.
Yeah, that's the one I'm working on now. But
Maybe that's just me. I just like I'm
No,
going
no,
to end
it's
this
not.
world, so I never ever have to write here again.
it'll take
Probably
me
not.
longer than 3 books to get there, but I suspect, I don't know, I think I'll stretch it out in such a way that my last book ever published is also his last story, and then we'll disintegrate into dust together, and he'll carry it. That'll be it for me. Hopefully a long time from now. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's the thing where it's like you. How long might you sister like to live? How long do you divide one by the other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my trilogies I've got left in this span.
If I could write them shorter, then I could do more of them, but that's not panning out.
Actually, write shorter, live longer would be a great t-shirt.
Here we go. We're getting some life lessons here now.
Indeed.
Yeah, quit writing, live longer.
Yep.
No, wait, that's not it.
And on that note, what a lovely spot to end this episode. Thank you for joining us, Gareth, and he's going to join us hopefully again next week for another episode where we discuss why nobody should write trilogies.
Oh, don't tell me that now. I've just started a second one.
All right, so yeah, thanks for joining us, dude.
Cool.
Yeah, and we'll swing back in soon. Thank you.